audio on demand from Vision Christian Media.
Exploring faith and the future. Neil Johnson and Bible teacher Dr. Camille Majdali.
A great experience exploring some of the New Testament books and some of those epistles or letters. Camille, today let's give some attention to James, who seems to be a contradictor of some of the issues of grace that are talked about by the Apostle Paul in earlier epistles. James, a very practical book, but also almost legalistic.
Well, the book of James has been rightly called the Proverbs of the New Testament because it teaches us of wisdom. And Proverbs can be very pithy and practical, and so can James. Now, there was this conflict in the mind of some, both in the early church as well as in the minds of the reformer Martin Luther, that James seemingly contradicts the notion of justification by faith, because James emphasizes works. How can you justify by faith, and how do you justify by works before God? And really, I don't think it's a contradiction at all. When you have a vibrant, living faith in Christ and His gospel, it's a working faith. It's a faith that puts on its overalls, rolls up its sleeves, dirties its fingernails, and gets going. People of faith are not passive, sitting with folded arms, enjoying some program on a plasma TV. People of faith work out their salvation with fear and trembling. It's not earning it, but it's living it out to the full. I don't believe James is any contradiction whatsoever. In fact, it complements and supplements the teaching of faith and grace.
So he's famous for this idea of faith without works is dead, and something we are all called to grapple with to find out where we might stand with our own faith, whether in fact we are just people who are sideline spectators or whether we're in the game.
Well, I think it's important to make note of how to live a lifestyle of faith, because you really cannot please God without it. Faith is not just a confession. It is activated by confession, but it is evidenced by fruit. There is fruit in your lives. There is what is called the lifestyle issue. There is also the verbal issue. For example, Neil, I believe I can tell people's faith levels by the words that come out of their mouth. Now, I know some people can put on the good act and act like the mighty man or woman of faith. We've all seen that. But honestly, discernment is at work when you listen to the words of people and when you watch the actions of people, because their words and the actions are an outworking of the thoughts and intents of their heart. So people of faith do speak in a certain way, and they act in a certain way, and that's why their faith gets stronger, and that's why their connectedness to God is more wonderful, and they get answers to prayer and breakthroughs and miracles. And in addition, you can see the favor of God on them in everything they do. So there has to be accompanying works with faith. Not that you even have to work hard at that. It's a natural outflowing of the life of faith. In other words, for example, if God calls you to be a missionary, you can either run like Jonah to the other direction, or you can, in faith, respond. Now, of course, you will need miracles to get trained and sent to the mission field, but every step of faith you make will bring the provision and the touch of God upon your life. And basically, James affirms all this, that faith without works is dead, and I will prove to you my faith by my works.
Faith and the Future with Neil Johnson and Dr. Camille Majdali from Teach All Nations. For more from Dr. Majdali, including books and DVDs on prophecy, Bible commentaries, plus today's and other episodes of Faith and the Future, go to vision.org.au.
Thanks for taking time to listen to this audio on demand from Vision Christian Media. To find out more about us, go to vision.org.au.